Okay, so the example I'm using is Get Lucky by Daft Punk. I already have this whole exercise completed in this session here, but you need to learn how to do it yourself. So in the samples folder, you'll find the Get Lucky sample. I'm going to drop it into the session like that. Okay, so I have auto warp turned off. Sometimes Ableton, by default actually, warp settings, whereas it auto warp long samples, I have it turned off because I usually don't need it. But you can leave it on if you like. But here's how you warp it manually. So turn on warp. We're going to find the very first beat. Okay, so when you have a mastered track, there will always be a little tiny section of silence at the start. But we want the track to start exactly on that first beat. So I'm going to right click above it. See where Ableton has suggested there's a transient there. It has that little grey marker. So I'm going to right click there and choose set 111 here. Okay, so our kick drum is now on beat 1, bar 1, bar 1, beat 1. The next thing I gotta do, I'm gonna go okay, so that was the start. I just wanted to let 4 bars pass so I get a good accurate representation of the tempo of the track. So this seems to be the start of bar 5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click above that transient, above that kick drum, to add a warp marker. Then I'm going to bring it so that it lines up with our bar 5 in the session. Now if you look at the tempo display here, or sorry, the segment BPM, it's telling me that the BPM of this part is 115.98. So I could probably get away with 116. Sorry, as our session, our master tempo. And from there, then I can right click on this and choose warp from here. I'll warp the entire track to 116 BPM. Okay, and you can see it all stays in time for us. So the next thing I need to do is start picking through the song and finding the different sections. Okay, so I know just from doing this before that this whole section from bar 1 to bar 17 is all intro. So I'm going to hit Command E to separate that, and I'm going to give it a different color to make it obvious. Command or to rename it. I'm going to call it intro, and you could actually split that intro into 2 halves. Okay, because it kind of intensifies in the second half. So you could even add a marker there. Let's see what happens. So the guitar is sparse. Okay, so both the electric piano, the Rhodes or whatever it is that he's using, gets more intense, and so does the guitar. So I'm going to say guitar, and we'll call it a Rhodes, picks up. So just the rhythm that they're playing gets a bit more animated, and it keeps us interested for a double length. Then we got the first verse. Okay, and that first verse goes on until the pre-chorus. So this is verse 1. Let's make it a nice color. The pre-chorus. Okay, so I'm hitting Command E each time to split the parts up. I'll make the pre-chorus pink and the Get Lucky chorus then. Okay, goes on until here. And we can make that nice and red. So then we have a kind of like a bridge between that first chorus into the second verse. So yeah, we'll call it bridge. And what will we make it? We'll make it blue. Okay, so then we're gonna have verse 2, which goes on until the second pre-chorus. Okay, so you can see how I'm going about this. So you can continue on throughout the entire track and split these parts up yourself. So what you're really trying to do is see where the divisions come in the various sections of the track, and also figure out what happens from section to section. how is our attention held from the verse into the pre-chorus, and how does that then build tension that's released at the chorus, or that we feel like the chorus is kind of some kind of climax. Okay, and my finished version, my finished cut up version looks like this. So check it out. Learn from this. Take the same methods I'm using. You can apply them to any song. So any song that you like in a genre that you like, take it in, warp it, then cut it up, and just see how the song progresses and see what you can take from that. See what you can learn from the work that somebody else has done.